It was, are we on? We're being recorded right now.
Shall we
It was all
stand and
Mitch.
say the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's great.
Welcome, Greg.
Yes.
Got meeting materials.
Good.
Okay. Greg, when you get settled, we'll begin. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce Ann Wagenhut. She is the,
Transportation Programming and Grant Assistant,
thank you.
along with ADA compliance.
So Beth, you'll probably see her with compliance.
Yep,
And then,
I've already harassed her a couple times.
Yep.
and then she will be assisting me. I gotta figure out what I'm giving out. So, meeting minutes from February 14th. Have everybody got a chance to read them? If not, we can take a couple minutes to read them now. When you're through, I'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Take a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Moving on to number 3, public comments. Nobody signed in public comment. Looks like Skylar
Almost did.
Spending plan update. Everybody got this is FY '24. This is not anything beyond '24. Is there anything in there that looks odd, looks silly, questionable? Okay.
Just me. Nick look at Park Street when he gets here, but otherwise, yeah. Looks okay.
Park Street as in,
190-2002. just to make sure that those numbers look right to him, but because I don't know those.
Those numbers haven't changed,
They haven't
and
changed,
actually,
okay.
yeah, those numbers were the same, I think, at the
Okay.
quarterly. I think it's kind of on the low side, but that's
He might
between,
have something I don't know about to request, I'm not sure.
well, that would be something between the city and, the engineer on that. So, and the roundabout is in there. I think we gave, I can tell you that the right of way was taken out of Park Street and put on the intersection improvement. Because there's no right of way on this Park Street as it is right here. There is no right of way on 190-2002, it's all in that intersection. Park, McClung, and
The roundabout.
yeah. So that was moved out, I know. So,
Those right-of-way funds though, those are, no longer there then, I take it, that we discussed for, Union Mills. We discussed for Lynn, I know we had a long discussion. Jay was here last time,
I was told that you guys don't need any,
We don't need any.
so you need right of way funds for Union Mills.
Well, yeah. That's, last meeting Jay came in here, and that was the reason why I called you right after that meeting. And Jay said that he got it approved, for 100,000 for federal funds, and I called you, go, well, I don't have, no, Jay didn't do that. I don't have that much, I have 95,400. And then I wrote an email, he told me to write an email, and he said you do an ad mod or something for that amount. And
Did we?
I thought, but, I mean, not on here, obviously, there's only 2 projects on here, so. I don't know where it's
Pass that
here.
down.
I got nowhere to tone on here.
I do need to look at this because I do know there's some errors in here. And we did lose some funds. Last Thursday, I got a call from NDOT and the negotiations with the debt ceiling in Washington, they took back any COVID monies that were not expended. So I had literally that afternoon to program any COVID monies. And NDOT had already closed their books. So the only thing we could put the money on was a project that had a PE that was, a PO that was open, that was not fully funded. So, and we went through 100 different, or I shouldn't say 100, but we went through several different scenarios, and basically it was, if anybody had a PE that was open and it wasn't fully funded, then that was the only place that we could put it. If you didn't have a signed contract, then you couldn't put it there. If you didn't have a PE, a PO, then you couldn't put it there. If it wasn't in the tip, you couldn't put it there. It was just, was really the wrong time for it to go through. And I'm waiting to hear from NDOT on what actually got programmed. So I've got to look. We might be able to, if I need to, I can probably get some funds from Evansville, because they do owe some funds. So that's where I'll get it from.
Here, this was the lid letter, and I'll give it to you later, but that was in February, that's like, for approval of that.
For the sidewalks?
The 95,400.
Well, that would have been 2023,
Yeah,
so.
that's what I meant, 2, this February of this year.
Yeah.
After our conversation, so.
Okay. We can get together and get with Marcy or Brianne and find out what's going on.
All right.
We had our quarterly meetings, and there's one thing that I want to make sure that you guys stay on top of and make sure that your consultants are staying on top is the schedules. I've had a couple cases in Lake County, well, one in Lake Horn and Porter, I should say, where the schedules had slipped, and they went from from November to January to February. One went to March and one went to April, and they both projects were unawardable. And so one project is in limbo and the other one, they were both in limbo for about a month. One project I found money for in '24, so that one's gonna go. But the other one I haven't found money for.
So just so I have it clear too, so I'm starting the consultant selection process for the comp plan. And I have to have the funds obligated by April of next year, correct?
Correct.
And then I have a year from that point to fully expend funds, correct?
No, whatever the PED is, performance end date.
Which I don't have yet.
Right, and you and Marcy can
We'll
work
work
that
that
out.
out. Okay.
You and Brianne can work that out. I
Okay.
think you'll have 2 years to.
But that's what I was gonna say, if I have 2 years for a comp plan, I mean, that's about what it takes. From
Yeah.
Start to finish.
Yeah,
Year and a half.
and if you have to, if you gotta extend it, you can extend it.
Okay,
You just get, and they'll make sure.
as long as the funds are obligated by April, which they will be, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna consultant selection here, in the next month or so.
Right,
Okay, just wanna make sure I keep.
and then we'll get the
keep track
FEMA's
of
in,
it.
and if we're waiting on,
Okay,
something, it's better to be sitting on Marcy or Brianne's desk.
Okay.
Than to be sitting on your desk,
okay.
so.
And I would just so it doesn't raise any eyebrows, the word travel, maybe just change that to transportation or trans or something like that. Just travel plan looks a little weird. I don't know if it raises any eyebrows. I don't want to have any problems down the line if somebody sees that and questions it. Where it says travel, maybe just change it to transportation or or abbreviate it.
Transportation and comprehensive
Yeah,
plan.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
I can go in there and do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Or maybe. Other stuff looks good to you, Nick?
And if you guys can get into RTIP and make sure that everything matches what's in the spending plan, I'd appreciate that. Sometimes they don't. We're still in RTIP. In March of '23, we'll be converting to the new, NDOT web-based tip,
March of 24,
23.
23.
I haven't done anything, aren't
I was gonna say, what?
All my quarterlies I rolled over.
They kept telling me March, they're gonna have a beta version out.
March, May.
So,
I haven't used it.
It's
so
big month.
make adjustments in RTIP indefinitely.
Yes. I do have a 1+1 contract with RTIP. So I do have one more year left on that
Well,
contract, so I've given them a year.
it was how you entered the changes.
So,
It didn't save things, you had to do it all in one fell swoop and stuff like that. It was
yeah, so if you look at go into RTIP, look in RTIP and make sure that what you have is correct. And if it's not what you think it is, or it's not what's on the spending plan, let me know. Give me a call. We go through it. Chances are, if it's on the spending plan, that's what I budgeted. So I'm gonna transfer what's in the spending plan to RTIP. If it's more money in RTIP, You may not get all that money, I might have to take some money away, but I don't think, I can't remember any time that I've taken, that there wasn't that money in there. Usually like our tip is usually, because we can do this on the fly,
Mhm.
change everything on the spreadsheet on the fly. It's just me remembering to go back into our tip and change it.
So there was a couple of projects that we had submitted. We thought maybe one of them might get a little bit of money when we discussed it previously, but is it probably because of this, the cutback in spending?
So there
were
were a couple, you're talking about the expansion projects?
the Polk Street or either Polk Street or Lake Street. We were just trying to maybe like hopefully have a bone thrown at us for getting one started at least or something, but we just weren't sure what that, stuck what that situation was.
Like, and is that something that we can decide here at
We can,
E-Rock to,
we can.
okay, so like.
We can, I didn't program any of those projects.
Mhm.
So we do have room for those projects in 28, I believe.
We just want to have an idea of what to expect because we're obviously wanting to focus on making those connections in the future. And Nick, is it one over the other? Do you think is more important than the other? Probably Lake.
Yeah.
So there's the north, so there's like $1.4 million in 2028.
What's that bridge 512? When's that money available?
512 doesn't have any construction funds on it.
I know, but we were talking about that. You said there'd be money.
So, yeah, I mean, but you didn't submit for that.
I know, not yet.
Which one is that?
Well, NOFA's over with.
I know, the next note for that.
I know.
Yeah.
So Bridge 512 is Michigan Avenue,
Oh, okay.
Michigan Boulevard.
Michigan Boulevard, Trail Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got right away in P, but not construction.
So I did not program those expansion because those were really low scoring projects. And I didn't feel comfortable programming those without input from T-Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they
We were just
were,
curious.
Yeah.
When we got the letter, we were just curious. We
Well,
just wanted to
and
ask.
we're, I think we're fine as long as they don't go away. You know what I mean? So like, I'm learning a little bit more about like in-depth bench projects because we have one on Johnson and Severs and 35 where they kind of start the process and they don't have full funding and they wait to see if they get it. But could we do something similar where projects submitted are benched until funding can be identified? Is that?
we could,
And I
I
have to
mean,
wait
just
for the next
so
NOFA.
you know, Lake Street scored 38
Yeah,
and Polk Street scored 25 out of 100.
we didn't try very hard.
I know, but I'm just saying, I myself was having trouble programming something that was that low,
Mm-hmm.
without the committee's input.
Yeah.
And at the TPC meeting, Beth was the only one that was there. A little attaboy, pat on the back.
I couldn't go.
So, and we really didn't discuss any of the Group 2 projects.
Yeah, we were just curious. We're not.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that
I-
we keep it in discussion for future.
Yeah, I just don't want to
Consideration.
have to wait until the next NOFA if funding becomes available. You know what I mean? If
Right.
other projects end up not making sense, if things
We're
shift
looking for, like,
around
just At
and
least getting like PE
Mhm.
so we can start to design it.
Well,
and
both are in a TIF district, both are in the urban enterprise zone, there's additional funding mechanisms for the projects, but not if we can't get them started. So
there's
that,
discussion about it being part of a potential truck route option.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So it's rising higher to the top of importance for us as the days go on.
and I think with our comp plan and the corridor section of our comp plan, if we plug in the data we get from that, I think the score would look completely different, but not having that yet, we wanted to just make sure it was in there, so I know we didn't shoot for score, we shot for project.
Yeah. We can fund those, but in order to get PE or right of way, the project has to be approved for construction.
Mhm.
Because at least in Lake and Porter County, we've had in the past where people shot to try to use up some PE and right of way, and therefore use that as a back door to get their project into the tip.
Yeah, so,
Because the next NOFA, they would be considered a legacy project
mhm.
and get preferential treatment.
that, some of the bigger costs on that, on Lake Street specifically, are right-of-way associated. So.
Yeah, there's a section of right away.
So the,
Acquired.
so PE and right of way would take us a long way to then be able to fund it through other means is kind of we locally, we're gonna struggle to get the acquisition of right of way, but if we justify it through the NEPA process
Frankly,
and
there's some-
use federal funds for that portion, even if we use local funds for actual construction, it helps us with the overall project. So that's why we just want to make sure that they didn't disappear and we can't consider them until the next NOFA.
No, and actually, you submitted in the NOFA, so we could actually consider it anytime. I would
Okay.
think. Because that's the important part, is that you submitted it in the NOFA.
Okay.
Like I said, we do have 1.4 million in 2028 that's available. Now, depending on what people want to do, we can move back and forth, so 2023 we have, or excuse me, 2027, we have $531,000 available. 25 and 26, we don't have any money available. In fact, 2026, we might have to move something out. Yeah, so if we can, so that is, that's an option. We can, if someone wants to move a project out, we can talk about that to afford one of these projects.
Because there's some options we're looking at for short and medium term truck route options to get trucks off Lincoln Way. And one of the options is kind of a north of the tracks option that involves Lake Street. And so we want to just have the ability to, further explore that, and it involves, the acquisition would be easier through the federal process since it involves potentially some railroad land and things like that. So it'd just be helpful to us if we can.
North-south corridor.
Well, but, yes, but
What are you talking, like short term?
short term.
Short term. For some reason, Mitch, we're just not getting there with the
Yeah.
corridor yet.
Seems like we have a little bit of an
We're
uphill
okay with it.
I know.
County wants to have meetings though.
Oh, good, okay.
battle. That's good.
Good.
This week.
So,
Over here in the stall is in the city.
What? I don't know, no, we're ready,
Election year.
we're ready.
We do have $126,000 on north-south corridor.
Yeah.
But in order to get that, I've got to get a financial plan.
Yeah.
As we've discussed, so that could be moved if you so desire. So, just saying.
You said you had to obligate funds to existing POs. Did you get a chance to consider the CE funds we needed for Chessie 2? Because we only are able to obligate half of the CE funds initially.
No, I did not.
Okay.
That was for 160-1867.
Yep.
I don't know what that's about.
160-1864, I thought. Just
67 is just.
Seven, okay, yep, sorry.
And we have.
Let it be reflected in the minutes
Right.
that it's 7, not 4. So minutes from last meeting had
4 in the minutes?
64.
Okay.
Doesn't sound right. Because I know we're willing to meet.
I will look at that. Don't write that down. Nice part.
I meant let it be reflected in
Yes,
the old minutes, not
right,
today's.
okay.
It's one small typo. Everything else looks great, thank you.
Right, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Anything else?
Yeah, so the other thing that we will want to try to figure out is if it's at all possible to have our 2 Park Street, now that we have the money for the intersection, if there's a way to shift to have them in the same year.
To get them on the same contract?
If we can't, I mean, we can work around that, but if it's possible, it sure would help.
Yeah. Okay, I'll look and maybe we figure out somebody could move a project in or out or something like that. So,
You're doing the track crossing in 24.
anything else?
And then
I don't know how important it is, those bus numbers
Liberty to.
that you have listed for
I don't know
my
about
2
that one.
replacement vehicles.
Liberty to
I
12.
can't guarantee it's
Liberty
gonna
12,
be
yeah.
28 and 29. I don't have any of my buses replaced yet.
Those are-
And-
Those are next.
Yeah.
I had some COVID money that was established to that from CARES Act,
But those two.
and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because they were locked in with that contract.
Whenever they
I
decide
don't,
to do that.
I've emailed Lisa to find out exactly where we stand now because
Yeah.
I had gotten an email too from state saying that money was gonna go away, and it was gonna buy a bus. So I don't know now what's gonna happen. So everything's
She
gonna
might
have
have,
to shift.
Talea was writing grants,
Okay,
Thursday?
You're moving
Okay.
yours to the south.
so she might have put that in a grant.
okay.
So it goes on the
So
railroad
she
side.
might have written a grant for that.
Railroad
But
side.
yeah, I don't have any of my buses replaced yet.
Yeah, I know. And unfortunately,
There's no hope in sight right at the moment.
and you're not the only one.
Yeah, I know.
I
know, and
don't-
that's what I
I'm not
said. I don't know how important those 2 numbers are for that description.
Who did?
It would be great if 2 buses got replaced next year or in 24, but
So you, but you still.
I've got
that's going on.
5 ahead of it that need to be replaced first before those 2.
Right.
That's been nothing but a nightmare.
Well, we'll just probably leave it as those 2 buses.
That's
Leave
fine.
it as
Same
those 2 buses.
same exact situation.
And how many buses did you need?
I think Robert has one on order, but she wanted to know if there was any room for 2 non-revenue vehicles in 24. Or am I jumping ahead of it?
Depends on, did she submit those?
I think so.
I don't know if I have anything for,
Oh, Charles, what's that magic?
Right.
I have that in 26, 27, 28.
But nothing
Oh,
for
yeah.
24 and 25?
Are they renewing?
I have revenue vehicles in 25.
Okay.
So it's- but We are
25 or 26.
over that much in.
Right.
25 and 26 are revenue.
So, and I have in 2020, in 2026, I have a revenue vehicle. In 26, I have an unknown vehicle replacement.
Okay,
27, I have an unknown vehicle replacement, and 28, I have an unknown vehicle replacement.
Nothing in 24.
Nothing in 24, 25. But they're out, I mean, if we need, how much are we talking about?
not sure.
What are we talking about?
I
Are
think.
we talking about specialty truck, or are we talking about a pickup?
Pickup truck.
Oh,
And possibly, what do you consider a specialty truck?
do you need a boom truck too?
No. No, it'd be 2 pickup trucks in that case.
Okay,
With some
that's
add-ons.
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. Pickup trucks with add-ons to it.
Do you need a police vehicle?
No,
And I know you don't have any police vehicles. but I'm
Right,
just
right.
trying to think of-
yeah, I don't need a
That's
souped up
that's
engine.
especially-
Right, I don't need a souped up engine.
You like one?
Oh, yeah. Only if you knew.
Or maybe you don't want to make a donation to the Michigan City Police Department.
It's got a city seal on it.
I'll see what I can do about moving some of those up.
Okay.
Moving one of those up, they could.
Is it a challenge that in FY '24, so it looks like we're just a little bit over, we have nothing in HSIP? Or is that,
That's what it looks like.
is that a challenge or is it okay?
It's gonna be okay because overall, yeah, it is a challenge, but overall, we show that we are spending a fair amount in HSIP.
Okay, because
As far as from the viewpoint of, are we spending enough?
so I mean, we need the CE money for the remainder of the chassis, and we're trying to reach that burn rate where we hit July,
Right.
so we could have money the following year. If we need to get rid of that pavement project in order to accommodate that, and then if we want to consider a change order to the preemption to add radios for additional vehicles, maybe that would kind of round out 24. And it would get a little in HSIP too, which probably, even if it's a little bit, helps, right?
Well, that would go towards a change order.
Yes.
So,
Other things, lots of different things.
we could do it that.
In vehicles, and then maybe come back for an additional project to do more signals throughout the county.
Okay. Let's talk Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
Call me Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
Skylar, how much money does Shannon need?
All the money. Much money. You know, that's what she would have said.
Give it all to me.
Give it all to us. I really don't know. She didn't tell me. But you know that would have been her answer though.
Yeah, I was just kind of hoping you knew a little more.
I do not know. I do not know. She didn't specifically ask me for anything or tell me to say anything today. Typically she would.
I think there's some right-of-way funds that are needed. Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to, when I get back, I think she
Don't
would.
say anything, maybe she'll have forgotten about it.
Oh, I don't think so.
Right.
I know.
But when I get back, do you want me to just have her call you or email you?
No, I'll look through my emails. Because I've got something from BFNS,
It would come from them, yeah.
so, from Doug.
I know that we still have some right of way to do for the trail,
Right.
especially near the bridge.
I can't remember your off.
It went in the lake. It got wet. You can't turn it.
It bounced out of my pocket into the lake. I did go after it, I did retrieve it, and it still works. I just can't turn my phone off, I can't charge it, put the plug in for it, I can't adjust the volume, I can't silence it.
How do you charge it?
With those wireless chargers,
Oh, okay, yeah. I knew that.
that, I can still charge it that way, and everything works. But I can't, the buttons don't work. And I can't, like I said, I can't plug it in and so.
Sweetheart deal.
Okay, anything else? Mitch, did you get everything for the sidewalks and with that letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can give it to you now.
I probably have a copy of it. I have a
you
copy of
emailed- I
it.
emailed you everything, yeah.
So,
You have it too. I printed out specifically for you.
then I'll take it.
Yes.
You went to the trouble.
Yes. Here, before I forget.
Thank you.
I will forget it too.
Make sure I don't.
Don't make sure you put it in trash.
I'll put it in my file cabinet.
Thanks.
Well, I did say it was a circular file cabinet. Could be a rectangle.
Yeah, that's.
There weren't too much from quarterly meetings. I think we've kind of discussed all that. And we do have room, like I said, 2028. There's very little program, so we can move some stuff around to try to get a project, if we need a project to go earlier or something like that.
What year was our park intersection? Is it 20?
Six.
No, the new one, the intersection.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking. We have, I moved the right of way to the intersection. I think that's in this year.
Okay.
I'm looking at an old spending plan,
Mhm.
just so you know. Looks like I had the road in 25 and the intersection in 27. But is that a pencil or is that a pen?
It's a pen.
No. Is that a erasable pen?
It is.
It is.
Good, because like I said, I'm looking at an old spending plan.
Yeah.
So I may have changed.
I don't have to erase, I just put question marks next to it.
Okay. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, it's mainly.
Anything else? Any other new business?
Sorry.
Craig was just, well, he was just mentioning to Mitch, this is other business for sure, but everybody's invited, those who
Oh, yeah.
appreciate planning, which is you hear.
Announcement.
We have a charrette going on right now with Notre Dame. Their School of Architecture, what's
Engineering.
their,
What is it called? Housing.
it's a housing initiative through their
Housing
architecture
and
school.
Neighborhood Rehabilitation Institute or something like that. It's an arm of Notre Dame School of Architecture and Engineering that's doing a charrette with us for the downtown area, basically, and then the neighborhood surrounding downtown. And we have a final presentation Thursday at 5:30 at St. Peter's Catholic Church.
Another public meeting tonight as well at 5:30.
At 5:30, kind of a progress update as part of it.
Yeah.
Also at 5:30 at St. Peter's. So we got a planning process going on right now.
Yep. It's very, very exciting.
It's
And
housing and transportation focused.
yeah, the level of professionalism that they have is great. They brought in people from across the globe, really.
Yeah,
So.
it's pretty cool.
I heard about that and I was kind of wondering, because I thought that was part of your comp plan.
It's a precursor to it.
Yeah.
We're kind of using it as a launching pad for part of it, yeah.
And it's actually,
So it's not
the
part of
city
it.
is a partner in
totally
this, but
different effort.
it's funded through the Healthcare Foundation as part of their housing initiative.
Yeah, it's complete, it's a spin-off of our housing study that we did recently. We finished a housing analysis and kind of market analysis. And it's a spin-off of that, so Healthcare Foundation directly hired them as a consultant to us as a spin-off of that. And then we've, as a result of this, realized it's a great launching pad for our comp plan. So some of the stuff that comes out of this will definitely be some groundwork laid for the comp plan.
I'm gonna have to share that with him on.
Yeah, the final presentations tomorrow are as a Thursday at 5:30, but we have one tonight at 5:30 as well.
Ryan, I got a question for you. Nick,
Oh.
that's your name, right?
Yeah, it is today.
How's it going?
Hey,
Doesn't glitch.
Ryan,
How's it,
Lysy.
Ryan?
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, Ryan Lysy called, and he said he was gonna give you a call. I gave you your number, your cell number last week, I think last Thursday, regarding EV stations, charging
Mhm.
stations.
Okay,
You guys,
we're both kind of involved, yeah.
yeah, you gonna be applying for those, because,
Well, we have funding for a couple of them
yeah.
for this year, for, well,
Is
24.
that, is that through the, what's it called?
Clean-
Not Clean Cities anymore,
Drive
Clean
Clean
Indiana.
Drive Clean
Is
Indiana,
that,
yeah.
okay.
He helped us with our application.
Yeah, he's putting up, I guess, one application together for Lake Porter and LaPorte counties.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's all you needed, I was talking pretty depth, it's all you needed right now.
Yeah, he's,
Was it a support letter and like an aerial where you
Yeah.
wanted?
We contacted us too.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I just got a support letter from council last night's meeting.
I mean, we haven't,
We're putting one in the parks and we're putting one downtown where, that's be off-street parking.
for stations?
Public access.
Public access, it has to be off-street.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I don't.
by the way, in 2024, LaPorte's getting 2 EV vehicles.
Yep.
And an EV UTV.
Yeah.
Cool.
In 25, you're getting a war wagon.
Mhm.
Utility truck.
Mhm.
LPG utility truck. LaPorte County in 25 is getting 4 EV vehicles.
Mhm.
And 1 electric vehicle charging station.
Right, that's in Red Mill.
And then Michigan City is all through the streets and sands is getting, in 26 is getting 3 garbage trucks.
Yeah.
In 27, they're getting 2 garbage trucks, CNGs. And in 28, they're getting a multi-use grapple truck.
I want one of those.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know, I want one.
So I think that might be for like leaps and branches.
Yeah, street department.
Street department.
Yeah.
We really wanted to get our street department equipment, but next time.
And that'll be, those are all CNGs.
There's a house there, I should probably.
If there's nothing, anything else? Okay, If there's nothing else, our next regularly scheduled T-Rock meeting will be August 15th. Here. What's that?
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed?
Tommy, right with me, yeah.
Abstentions?
I'll hold in.
Yeah,